Luka Doncic has returned to Dallas for tonight's game against the Mavericks, and he looked exactly like the Luka Doncic that we all know, but the front office feels like is another Tim Hardaway Jr., as Luka Doncic dropped 45 points on his first game back in Dallas since being traded back in February. And in tonight's game, the Dallas Mavericks really didn't play any real defense, as we did end up losing the game by a pretty big margin, but the Dallas Mavericks are still far from being the team that we all think that they can be when fully healthy, and the Los Angeles Lakers reminded us today. So in this video, we're going to go over the game, see how well Luka did, how well did the Mavs do, what does this mean for the Dallas Mavericks and their ambitions to go into the playoffs, as well as Anthony Davis gave LeBron James the cold shoulder. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 20,260 subscribers. Just want to say thank you guys so much for all the love and support on this channel. But if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related with our live streams, watch alongs, news vids, and everything else in between, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But the Dallas Mavericks lost to the Los Angeles Lakers today as Luka Doncic made his return to Dallas. And it started off with an amazing tribute video to Luka Doncic where you could see Luka Doncic was visibly crying. He was upset. I put him as a thumbnail to show that Luka Doncic wasn't crying tears of just joy and I'm glad to be back. It was the hurt, the pain, everything that came with what happened after the trade was all flooding back. And it made me, honestly, and a lot of people, very upset by this tribute. Did Luka Doncic deserve a tribute video? Absolutely. But it's kind of weird to give him that video showing him all that love after the last 2 months of just running his name through the dirt, saying everything bad about Luka, calling him everything but a child of God. The list goes on of all the things that were said about him. And to watch him watch the tribute video crying, you could tell that he was very bothered by it. It was very emotional to watch. It was something that no Mavericks fan thought they'd ever see while Luka was still playing. But that did not shake Luka Doncic as he dropped 45 points on the Mavericks. And you could say that the Mavericks kind of let him do it. I saw a lot of lazy defense on Luka Doncic as Luka was the only Laker that was really giving us a problem. Of course, LeBron James and Austin Reeves, yeah, they're there, but their bench was non-existent. Our bench was actually good. And it was really just Luka Doncic being Luka Doncic, being that all-star, that perennial all-star, that generational talent that we know he is. He was on one tonight as our best player was Najee Marshall. And that's no knock to Najee Marshall, but our best player should have been Anthony Davis, as this was supposed to be a revenge game for him as well as Max Christie. But the Lakers came prepared. Anthony Davis was getting double-teamed, triple-teamed. He was not able to do anything. Once he got the ball, they swarmed him. Knowing Anthony Davis and how to play against him, shout out to J.J. Redick and the Lakers. But the Mavericks, Jason Kidd, I don't know if they tried to scheme for Luka or maybe they just wanted Luka to have a good game. I could already see now what the headlines would be if Luka's first game back against Dallas was a bad one. They already ran his name through the mud after a few bad games with the Lakers already. So in the first game back, I'm personally glad that Luka did well. I was kind of hoping Luka dropped some, 45 points and the Mavericks can still win, but you can't always have it the way that you want. And unfortunately, the Mavericks did lose tonight. But we are still in the play-in situation, as it was announced just the other day that the Phoenix Suns have officially been eliminated from playoff contention. The Mavericks only have 2 games left in the season. We play the Raptors on Friday, and then we play the Memphis Grizzlies right before the play-in. We can lose those 2 games, and we're still the 10th seed. We're still in the play-in. So do these next 2 games really matter? Maybe, maybe not. I know a lot of people want to see the team win. They want to see the team succeed and just look good. As tonight's game, they did not look like the team that we all know they can be when they're playing their best. Although we did come out with the right energy. We were leading the first quarter. Things looked good. Najee Marshall was playing great. All of our bigs, AD, PJ, Gafford, and Lively were all eating down low. Things changed in the second quarter. As we go into the halftime down by 3, we only needed to tighten some things up on defense. The offense was smooth enough, just had to hold in, but that didn't happen. The third quarter breakdown, which is very infamous for the Dallas Mavericks, definitely happened. The Lakers took the lead. We go into the fourth quarter where quickly we get a 2-point lead, but then they subbed in Luka, and it all just went to hell. The Lakers end up winning the game. Luka Doncic got a standing ovation when he checked out for the last time in tonight's game. But all throughout the game, they were fire Nico chants. The crowd let them know exactly how they feel. And regardless if you moved on or not, I would argue that it was definitely warranted. In the game that Luka Doncic came back, everything's on the table. Do whatever you want. Yell fire Nico. Throw up some signs. Flip off the camera if you want to. In tonight's game with Luka being back, it was for the fans. They want Luka. And this is what they got. But if we go over the box score for tonight's game, Anthony Davis had 13 points, 1 block, 6 assists and 11 rebounds, shooting 3 of 5 from the free throw line, 0 of 2 from 3, and 5 of 13 from the field. Like I said, not the best game from Anthony Davis, as most of those points came late in the game. He was really struggling in that first half. They were throwing doubles and triples. There was nothing that he could really do. And P.J. Washington also had a very bad game. I don't know whose idea it was to have P.J. Washington bring the ball down. But whoever's idea that was definitely needs to be fired. I don't care if it's Jason Kidd, Jared Dudley. I don't care if Kyrie said, hey, let P.J. bring the ball down. Someone needs to be fired. Now, not Kyrie. We need Kyrie. But it just is never a good thing when P.J. brings the ball down. We've seen it many times that he just does not have the handles and the ability to bring the ball down. If you give him the ball, he needs to be attacking the basket. He needs to be shooting the ball. If he has the ball longer than 5 seconds, that's a problem. In tonight's game, it resulted in 5 turnovers. He did have 1 block, 2 steals, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds, but he also shot poorly, only 4 of 12 from the field. Definitely did not look like the PJ that stands on business. But Najee Marshall, in contrast, had a much better game. He had 23 points, 1 steal, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 2 of 5 from 3, and 9 of 14 from the field. Najee Marshall did it all for the Mavericks tonight. And Derrick Lively, still on a minutes restriction, only played 15 minutes, had 6 points, 1 steal, Derrick Lively had 6 points, 1 steal, 0 rebounds, and was 3 of 3 from the field. Still coming back from injury, still trying to get acclimated. It's going to take a while for Derrick Lively to really look like Derrick Lively. And Klay Thompson, in 28 minutes, had 6 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds, shot 2 of 7 from 3, 2 of 8 from the field. Not a good game from Klay. It's one of those up and downs, and unfortunately tonight was a down. But off the bench, you had Caleb Martin with 9 points, 1 steal, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. Played very good defense. As I said before, everybody looked to be playing very light defense on Luka, as Luka was able to just get easy buckets at the rim. The defense looked very, very lazy, except when Caleb Martin was on Luka. Caleb Martin looked like he did not care who was in front of him. He was going to lock them down. Still wasn't enough. Luka still got 45. But I did like what I saw from Caleb Martin with the 9 points, 1 steal, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. Dwight Powell, 2 minutes of garbage time, gave you 1 rebound. Daniel Gafford in 15 minutes had 10 points, 2 blocks, 3 assists, and 6 rebounds. He's also still on a minutes restriction. Spencer Dinwiddie had 5 points coming off the bench. We had Najee Marshall start. Had 5 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. And Max Christie off the bench had 11 points, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. The Dallas Mavericks have lost to the Los Angeles Lakers, but that doesn't really mean too much. Whether we win or lose, we are still the 10th seed. We are still going to be in the play-in tournament, and maybe we'll make the playoffs. But after tonight's game, if this is the best that we can throw out there, because we have the majority of our guys back that are available to play. Dante Exum was available for tonight, but didn't play for whatever reason. But if this is what we're going to see in the play-in tournament, expect to lose in the first, maybe second round if we even make it that far. And if somehow we do make it to the playoffs, we got to play better than what we saw tonight. We are still being competitive. We are not trying to tank, obviously, from what we're seeing. But the level of play and the level of urgency in these games isn't what you need from a team that's trying to make some form of push in the playoffs. But as always, we got to talk about who stood on business. And I'm going to shake it up tonight because even though Najee Marshall played very, very well, the player who stood on business tonight was Luka Doncic. Like I said, 45 points in your first game back against the Dallas Mavericks. After watching a very emotional tribute video, Luka Doncic was on one, and the crowd was letting him know, cheering on for Luka for every little thing that he did, yelling "Fire Nico" at the free throws. The fans were all in for Luka, so I got to give it to Luka. Obviously, Najee Marshall had a great game, but in my opinion, Luka stood on business. If we take a look right here, just to put it into contrast. Oh, I'm all over the place. What's up with my hotkeys? There we go. Luka Doncic tonight had 45 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, 7 made threes, and shot 57% from the floor, like I said. That's how you stand on business. But a few things that we're definitely going to look at is a quote from Luka after the game. Luka Doncic just said post-game, "I love the fans, I love the city, but it's time to move on." So if anybody out there thought Luka would come back, if anybody thought there'd be a reunion, don't think so. Luka said it himself. It's time to move on. That doesn't mean you can't root for him. It doesn't mean that you can't feel how you feel. But Luka still got love for the fans, still got love for the city. He's done a lot for us here. But it's time to move on. He said it himself. But what I also said earlier in the video of Anthony Davis throwing the cold shoulder to LeBron, I saw this right before I started recording. Anthony Davis said bye to almost every Lakers player after the game, except LeBron James. There was a lot of rumors floating around, and some people spoke and misspoke, saying how Anthony Davis kind of knew that LeBron knew about the trade, that LeBron hinted at the fact that, yeah, I knew that you were getting traded, and I may have signed off on it. So, something, nothing, Who's to say? But we do know that Anthony Davis said bye to everybody except for LeBron James, the man who helped him win his first championship. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think Luka stood on business, or should we have given it to Najee Marshall, which I think is also fair? You let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We'd have a conversation about it. But that's what I got for you guys today. Thank you for making this far to the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. We're also on Spotify. Make sure to check us out. And as always, drink water. Peace.